Hey guys, today we're going to make a tutorial on how to make Clemson coasters. So the first step is to make 6 circles of 3.5 inch diameter, and we're going to start off by right clicking the rectangle tool to select the ellipse tool. And we're going to, as you see on the screen right now, make it fill of no color and stroke of 0.0005 point. And the reason why we do that is so that we can use vector cuts, because the laser cutter will recognize anything less than 0.001 point as a vector. So the majority of the pictures we use in this tutorial can be found at the clemson.edu website with all the branding logos. If you can't find them here, then we will have the pictures linked below in the description. The first coaster we'll be making today is the Clemson Sea. The information about it, such as the image trace and the dimensions of it, will be located in the bottom right corner. And right now we're doing an image trace of it, and if you haven't seen the video on how to remove backgrounds using image trace, I suggest looking at that video before watching this. So what we're doing here is change the dimensions of the sea so it fits inside the circle, and removing any objects from the picture that we don't want. Next up is the tiger paw, and what we're doing is the same process as the Clemson Sea, just image tracing it to remove the background. Next up is the University Seal. Now this one's a little different. Yes, we are going to do an image trace of it to remove the background, but this time we're going to change the colors of the picture to black and white. So after removing all the objects that we don't need, we are going to invert the colors of the object. In order to invert the colors, you need to highlight the entire picture, go to Edit, Edit Colors, and Invert Colors. And see how instead of a black background this time we have a white background. And so now the next step is to take the circle that's surrounding the entire object and change the stroke to 6 point and change the stroke color to black. Now instead of deleting all the green objects, we're going to change the color of every one of them to white, so we get a perfect black and white photo. And eventually it'll turn into something like this, and just place it in the circle. Next up is the academic tiger, and we only want the left part of this picture. It's a similar process to the University Seal one, as instead of deleting the black objects, we're going to change them to white. As you can see, if we delete them, we just have an orange background. Next up is the National Champions logo. Now, this one's fairly simple because when image traced, the background just comes off as one object. So now adjust the size of the logo and just place it into the circle. The last coaster we'll make for today is Tillman Hall. We're going to be image tracing to remove all the objects, and then we're going to highlight the entire object and select color white and stroke of black and 1 point. And what that does is another way of inverting the colors because the whole Tillman Hall is considered as one object. And we're just going to place it into the circle. Once the coasters have been made, the final step is to make the stand. So we're going to take a picture of South Carolina and image trace it to get the outline. And we're going to be focusing on the object on the right. And what we're going to do is change the stroke color to black and change the stroke weight to 0.0005 point in order for the laser to recognize it as a vector cut. After that is done, we are going to be using a 3.6 inch circle and cutting a hole out of South Carolina in order for the coasters to sit in between. Now the tutorial for this can be found on another video called Divide Objects Below tutorial on the Makerspace website. And so what we're going to do here is copy and paste this 3 times so that we can add height to our coaster stand, because each of these pieces that we see right here are going to be a 1/2 inch piece of wood. As shown on the screen is the thicknesses for each piece of the project. The coasters are going to be a 1/4 inch thick as well as the base of the stand, but the cutout pieces of South Carolina, as said previously, will be a 1/2 inch thick. Shown on the screen is the final product of the coasters and the coaster stand. Shown on the right is the wood used for the project, which is 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch poplar board from Lowe's, as well as the recommended vector and raster settings for the laser cutter. Thank you guys for watching the tutorial, and as always, come by the Clemson Makerspace.